What's up guys, my name is Alan and welcome to my channel Alan Architectural. So in this video we are going to be talking about dimensioning, and this video is going to be like the perfect guide, the very perfect guide you are going to need or you are ever going to need in dimensioning in Revit. This is going to be an all-time video, right? All about dimensioning in Revit. So without much ado, let's get straight into the video. So now the very thing, this grid lines you see right here, are just grid lines I just set up to be able to teach you guys how you can dimension in Revit. These grid lines are just for the purpose of the video, so you can actually place some grid lines in your view as you are about to study in this tutorial. So you can actually place some grid lines, or you can make some walls, just put some walls down so that when you are dimensioning you can actually see what we are going to talk about today. So now the very tool, or the only dimension tool in Revit, all right, now you see this ribbon right here, this very dark ribbon I have right here in my view. Now most of you are not going to have this ribbon below this ribbon right here. You people are going to have it, most of you are going to have it at the top. That's how Revit gives it to you at default. All right, I just shifted mine down there, so you can send it up there by just clicking on this arrow right here, and you're going to have a pop-up menu where you can move all the way to the bottom there, and you're going to see show above ribbon, and then it shows above that ribbon right there. So now this is how you're going to have it in your Revit view, unless you have moved yours below the ribbon. All right, so I have decided to move mine below the ribbon because I find it much easier below the ribbon. So I'm going to put it back to where it was, show below the ribbon. So there we go. Now I have that tools, all that toolbar right below this ribbon right here. Now the only place you can, or where you can find the dimension tool, all right, is exactly right on this ribbon. Now this tool right here, this tool you see with an arrow, all right, with an arrow slanted diagonally. Now that right there is the dimension tool, all right, that right there is the dimension tool. The shortcut for this is DI. The shortcut for the dimension tool is DI, so you can just hit on it. Now before I select the dimension tool, now some of you can by mistakenly not have that in that ribbon right there. You're not going to have it on that ribbon. So what do? You can, there's two ways you can go about it. It's either you type in the shortcut, and then you start dimensioning, or you hit the escape key a couple of times, or you can move into the modify tab, and then you are going to see in your measure tool right here, you're going to have that dimension tool right there. You're going to have it right there. All right, you're going to have that dimension tool right there, so you can click on it over here and you can dimension as well. So now, but I want to bring my dimension tool back into this selection of tools right here, so I'm going to just click on the drop down menu, and then I can just select it, make sure it's selected, and then there we go, it's back into that tool right there. Okay, so now you are going to start dimensioning in Revit. So now just click on it. When you click on it, pay attention into your properties panel. I'd like you guys to pay attention, pay very good attention, and watch something in your properties panel. Now when you click on that linear dimension star arc, that's what Revit gives you by default. So you are going to have a set of dimensions, various types. You're going to have arc length 2.5 mm area, which is the size of the text you are going to have. So you're going to have all these types installed in Revit by default. All right, so we are just going to pick any of them. So I'm just going to start with the arc length 2.5 area. So I'm just going to click on that. Now when you click on that, now before we do anything, let me just bring in a wall. All right, let me just bring in a wall for you guys to understand something. So I'm just going to go into my architecture tab, I'm going to click on wall, and I'm just going to draw a rectangular wall. I'm not going to care about which level is going to be connected to, because this is just only about dimension, so I'm not going to care about that. Now I'm going to click back on my dimension tool. So when I click back on my dimension tool, now I want you guys to pay attention to this tools right here, this option right here, you are going to have wall center line. Now this wall, when you click on it, you are going to have some when you click on that drop down menu right here, you're going to have a drop down menu of a list of 4 different sets of dimension arrangements you are going to get. So you are having wall center lines, and then we are having wall faces, and then we are having center of core, faces of core. So I'm going to explain all of this. So when you pick wall center lines, when you move your mouse pointer after your dimension is selected, and you just move your mouse pointer into the area where you have these walls, you notice that you are going to have a highlighted line where Revit automatically is going to pick the dimension, is going to start dimension from the wall center line. That is what is being selected in this area. So automatically it's going to just be picking at the wall center line. Let's say I don't want to pick from the wall center line, and then I want to pick from the surface of the wall, or this surface, the interior surface or the exterior surface. So you can either, there's 2 ways. You can either hit the tab key. When you hit the tab key, it's going to move. All right, it's going to move. You're going to see the blue highlighted line is kind of like moved into the exterior. All right, when you hit it a couple of times, make sure you move your mouse pointer on the interior line. Make sure it's right on the interior line, and then you hit the tab key. When you hit the tab key, now the dimension 2 is going to pick exactly from that interior line, as you can see, right? So we are going to, but automatically when you move your mouse pointer without hitting the tab key, it's going to be picking from the center unless you hit the tab key. So let's say I'm working in Revit and I want to be very quick, or want to be very fast in what I'm doing, and I want to just be picking the wall faces. I'll just have to come into this tab right here, and then I'm going to pick my wall faces. All right, so when I move my mouse pointer in the project right here in the view, it's automatically going to be picking from the wall faces, unlike what we had in the wall center line. It's going to be picking from the wall faces. Any wall face I want is going to be picking from there. All right, now another thing, I'm going to show you guys another trick right here. So I'm going to place in a window. Now just place in any window, don't just care about whatever, just place in some windows, just place in some windows in here. So let me put in some doors as well. Let me just place some doors in here. Perfect. So now we are going to move back into our dimension 2. We are going to move back into our dimension 2. Now we are going to pick wall faces. Now you can either leave it on wall faces or wall center lines, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to leave that on wall faces. I'm going to select this pick right here. So now with this pick section you have right here, with this pick section, it means that when you are dimension, all right, it's going to allow you to individually pick the reference point that you want. So when I click here, Revit expects me to now pick another point individually. So it expects me to also pick another point as well, and then I'm going to pick another point as well. So this is what it means by the individual referencing. So I'm picking different points in Revit. I'm just picking this up, I'm picking this up, and they are all being aligned. All right, and I'm picking this up and I'm sending this all the way to the top right here, and then I'm going to click and leave it right there. All right, so I'm going to explain something. Go back into your dimension 2, and then come back in here, and then pick entire walls. When you pick entire walls, I'm going to explain something. When you pick entire walls, move into this options right here. When you move into this option right here, this is where the magic happens. So you are going to have an option where you can either pick up the dimensions without you wasting much time to now individually pick all these points. For you to be individually picking up all these points, wasting time, you can just pick openings. All right, and when you pick openings, you can either pick the center of the openings, or you can pick the width. So make sure you select the width. When you select the width, it's going to do exactly what the dimension I have done right at the top over here. It's going to select the openings of the width. So it's going to give me the dimensions of those openings. All right, and you can either select intersecting walls or intersecting grids. So I'm going to leave that unchecked, and then I'm going to click on OK. Now look at what happens when I click on this wall. It gives me that dimension right there. It gives me the dimension without me going to pick all those individually. All right, when I click on this wall, it's giving me the dimension right there. How easy and fast this is. I just discovered this. So I'm just going to click on this wall, and then I'm going to move this here. So this is not going to waste much of your time. You are just going to have to click on the wall. When you click on the wall, and then you just move your dimension up there, and it's going to give you the width, the dimension of all the openings, or you can either pick it from the center, or we saw that option as well. We could get the dimension from the center as well, but then we want the width, which is very, very important. So now let's go back into our dimension tool right there. So we have this option where we can select the openings. So we have that right there. Now I'm going to go back into individual references, all right, and I'm going to leave that on wall faces. Now I'm going to move into the grid section where I have this grid lines placed in there. So you can either pick the grid lines this way, you can pick it this way, pick it this way, pick it this way as well. So we have this grid line dimension right there. I'm going back into my dimension tool. We have align dimension where we can align that as well, and we have angular. All right, if you want to get the angle of something in Revit, let me give you an example. So I'm going to draw a line over here. So let's say I draw this line right here, and then I move this, and then I draw this about 135. All right, so this is just a shape I'm drawing just to teach you guys how you can use the angular tool. So you can go back into your angular, and then you can just click on this, and then you click on this, and it's going to give you the angle that you have. It's going to give you the angle that you need in there. All right, it's going to give you that angle, and you can just click and leave that anywhere you want. And then we can go back into, let's go back into the dimension where we have the radial. All right, we have the radial where it's going to give us the radius. All right, it's going to give us the radius. Now I hope you guys know what a radius is. A radius is picking from the center to the circumference of a circle. All right, so this is going kind of like giving us the radial of this arc right here, which is 917 millimeters. So we can leave that here where we have our radial, and then the diameter as well. So let's say I draw a circle. So I'm just going to draw a circle. I'm using the line tool. The shortcut is DL. So I just draw a circle, and I'm giving it a radius of 2000. You guys can see that. And then I'm going to measure that. Let's say I want to find a diameter, which is supposed to be 4000. So I'm just going to move in here, and I'm going to click in there, and it's going to give me that radius right there. And I can just turn it and leave it anyhow I want. I can leave it exactly how I want it to be in Revit. Exactly. So this is what we have in there as well. And now let's move into our dimension tool again, where we've talked about the diameter. Now we have the arc length, spot elevation, spot coordinate, and spot slope. I'm going to be explaining that to you in a different video. So this is what you have to, I think this is all you have to know about dimensioning in Revit. All right, so let's say I just click on that dimension tool right here, and then I move into the edit type. All right, when you move into the edit type, this is where you have all those other types of dimension sets which we had in the properties panel. All right, so now when you move into the edit type, before you use any dimension tool, like I said, when you move into the edit type, make sure you always duplicate. All right, so I'm just going to duplicate for the sake of this tutorial. Now when you want to change, let's say I want to change the color of the text right there, I just have to move to text, and then I go in here. I want to change the color. All right, I just have to go into the text area, and I just move my mouse pointer. I come in here to color, I go into color, and then I just select red, and I just change okay. Now it's because I've duplicated, and I didn't use that duplicate for this dimension, so it's not showing the red in here. So I'm just going to select this rather, and then move into my edit type, and then I change this to red. All right, and then we see the red applies to all those dimensions we have in there. You can change the color to any color that you want, any color that you prefer. And let's say someone says he doesn't like those diagonal arcs in there, you can change that as well. All right, it's a diagonal, you can make it an arrow. You can make it an arrow of 30 degrees. You can make it an arrow as well. As you can see, it's changed all over in every single thing that we have in there. So we can go back into our dimension too as well. You can go back into our dimension, go into edit type. Let's just find some things to do. We can bold our text. You can change the text size as well. This is where you change the text size. You can change the font. Let me just change the font for the sake of this video. I'm just going to change that to Times New Roman. I usually like using that a lot in my projects. So we can change the text, and you can just play around with everything in here. Just play around with everything. Make sure you check and duplicate it as well, and then you hit on OK, and then this is what we have. So thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Please make sure you like and subscribe to my channel. I'll be bringing up more tips in Revit. Revit is the best software you can ever find. The best BIM software available, and I'll be teaching you guys step by step and giving you guys the perfect tutorials you can ever need to be able to have an easy and a fast workflow inside of Revit. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. If you have challenges, you can send me an email as well, and I'll do my very best to reply to each and every one of you. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys.
Your name is Yahweh.